Hey everybody, we have an Optoma to look at today. There's the regulatory number, VDHDNL. This is supposed to be an HD141X. I did not run the serial number yet, but I believe that is correct. This was sent in because the owner put a new projector lamp inside and it didn't work. They said projector was making a weird noise and the lamp would not come on, so they wanted to send it in for repair, so they sent it in. And I wasn't going to do any videos on this chassis anymore, but this is a great example of a color wheel issue, and the sound it makes is real clear. So I'm going to do basically a video on the color wheel failures of this chassis, and this will probably be the last time I show this sort of chassis on here. So I'm going to hit power, and you guys are going to listen. So that little noise you were hearing, that is the color wheel not being recognized by the color wheel sensor. The projector lamp itself is fine. I suspect their old lamp assembly probably still works, but it's probably the original and it's probably well worn. So they're better replacing this. So I'll take the lamp assembly out, and then there's the door switch right there. I kind of just want to shove something in there so that you guys can actually watch the color wheel. So let me bypass that door switch and then get you set up to see that. Okay, so I just jammed a wire into there just to hold the door switch in. But we're going to watch that color wheel. Where's my flashlight? There it is. I guess it helps if I plug in the power. Alright. So, you can see the color wheel. Pressing power. And that's going to start spinning funny. Not haha funny. Just WTF funny. And that is again because it can't see the index mark. We're going to find that little black sticker missing, I'm pretty sure. So without further ado, I'm going to use the time-lapse function and we'll take it apart. Next is we need to get the lamp basket out. In theory, you can get the color wheel out without it, but I have never been able to get that work successfully. And for the 3 screws that hold the basket in, it's just not worth the hassle to me. So, this screw, that screw, and all the way down. Make sure you guys can see it. Down, get it in the middle here. Right there. Oop. Yeah, that plastic is very dry. Been heated. That just cracked on me. We might glue that depending on how bad it is. We'll see once we get the basket out. But that's good to know. So that means on the other screws we're going to be a little extra careful. Now, if a couple of these are unable to go back in, it's really not that big a deal. But, you know, the more we can put back in, the better. Let's see, then this should just lift up. We do want to unplug the fan motor. I'll also disconnect the lamp wire. Just get those two free. That way the whole basket can lift up. Also the door switch. This wire, wait, that wire goes around, over, and then into the power supply. They have it looped around the ballast control wire, so we'll remember that. So now, lamp basket should just... Oh, there's tape. They put tape right here to hold those wires in place. So let's get that out. Now, comes right up. There's the basket. And let's look at that plastic bit that I heard crack. Okay, right here. Let's see. Okay, this is probably repairable. It broke at the base. So we should be able to glue that back in down there. So we'll save that. I'm going to see about repairing it. We do have a crack. Oh, come on, focus. There's a crack on the side, so I might do that heat shrink trick that I like to do. But when we take out the other screws, let's unplug the color wheel. This screw down here, I'm worried about that plastic breaking, so what I'm going to do is actually tighten it just a tiny bit, and what that does is that breaks the threads loose from the plastic and it lets me take it out. Another thing, these screws, the non-lamp basket screws, are shorter. Got to put it in frame. There we go. So the screws holding the color wheel in are shorter, just barely. This one, same thing. We're going to tighten it just a tiny bit and take it out. Like when I say tighten it, like it's barely turning, you feel it just tiny bit, just barely move, and then that's enough. Alright, then these, once these are out, we'll lift the whole thing out with that black plastic bit. I'm actually going to leave the color wheel sensor plugged in and just unscrew the board. It's this guy right here. We're going to clean that off. She'll take a look at it. We'll verify that the sticker's gone. Should be. And make sure this isn't filthy. Huh. That's actually kind of dirty. Okay. Let's see. Let's look in here and see if the index mark is there. As I rotate the wheel, let me get my pinky in there. Aha! So that's where it should be. It's not. Alright, let's lift that out. So there's the wheel. So there's where the index mark is supposed to go. I'll bet. Trying to see if there's anything inside. Sometimes you'll find it. Oh, I want to show you something else. So sometimes what'll happen is this foam down here, you can see it got hot and it pulled up, and it was actually getting cut by the color wheel. So we'll put that back in, but with some better mounting methods, I'll put a couple drops of super glue in there, especially when I fix that, and that'll be fine. I was kind of hoping we'd find bits of the sticker, but I don't know where they went. So I'm going to leave that there, and now let's address the color wheel. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to take it out. I'm thinking about just replacing the index mark. The motor feels fine. It actually sounds good. The wheel looks good. It needs cleaning, but it is not. The hub motor doesn't feel like it has any problems. Let's see, let's lift that out. So it's dirty. You can see it's very dirty, but we'll clean that off. And then I'm thinking I might just use some high temperature tape and repair that. Let me see what I have. And here is some high temp tape here. So what I can do, I can clean up the wheel, then cut off a small piece and put it right there, and that'll actually fix the wheel. It'll save the guy a bunch of money. And like I said, this motor's fine. I'm going to clean it up first, and then after it's clean, we'll go ahead and put that sticker on it. So let me get some lens cleaner, and we'll get this cleaned up. So we'll do the front side first. The other reason I want to clean this is just to make sure I don't need to replace it. I do have a couple spares, so if for some reason I get into this and I realize that repairing it like this is a bad idea for the customer, then I will do that. But we're going to try first, because anywhere I can save somebody money and still give them a proper end result, that's a good thing. Alright, now let's clean the back. Just a little quick squirt with some lens cleaner. And I'm using lens cleaner because that should not attack the coating, the dichroic treatment of the glass. You know, we've seen what Windex and stuff can do to projector lenses, so I don't want to take that chance here. So I'm using a very mild, you know, this stuff, just this lens cleaner stuff that I put my plastic magic repair spray sticker on. Alright, that actually looks pretty good. Looks a lot better than it used to. Why does that... Oh, it's the angle, that's why. It's weird. It looks like there's a little gap, but it's really not there. Okay, so that's dry. Let's just wipe that off, and that. Let's get it around. That's where the sticker is going to go. At the beginning of the blue segment. So we'll line it up with that edge there. Let's get it ready. So the first thing, let's get the rest of the old sticker off. Wow, that just fell off. And you can even see the mark on the metal where it was, but we know it's right at the beginning of the blue segment. So I'm going to measure and snip off a little piece. It's going to go right there. So it's going to be short. Okay, so I forgot to hit record. Wow, I can't believe I forgot to hit record. I hope I got that. Anyway, what I did was I had a little sticker holding a piece of this that was cut, and I set it on there. And then once I set it down, I pushed it into place, and then I said, wow, that went really well. I hope this works, because that almost was too easy. So now let's get ready to put that back in, but first we're going to glue that piece of foam back in. And this is the spot. I'm not going to do anything special, just uh-oh. My super glue is not opening. I did it again. I don't know why I'm having trouble with my recording here. Alright, so this is glued back in. I put 3 drops of super glue in after my super glue thing broke here. So this is going to be useless after that. So that's glued down with 3 dots of glue. 1 drop there, 1 drop there, 1 drop there. I forgot to hit record. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause it, get my shrink tubing, we'll fix this piece and then glue it in. There we go, that's ready. So then, that spot, so let's get the glue in there. Sit on all the surfaces, just about. That one. Alright, that's honestly too much. Alright, now can I? Maybe. We'll see. I got the cap to go back on. We'll see. But let's put this in now. That looks okay. I'm going to let that set up. Let me get that extra glue out. That's all going to be underneath the lamp basket anyway. So I'm going to let that set up, and while that's setting up, let's reassemble the color wheel subassembly. So we'll take this, that sets back in there. That. See, this is the part you're supposed to be able to take out while it's inside. You're supposed to be able to take out that screw, and this is supposed to like come up and out like that, but I've always had the light tunnel in there, and that seems to prevent that from happening. So let's put that screw back in. This is going to save the guy, probably 50 bucks at least. And there's really nothing wrong with this wheel. If it was dragging or something, then sure, but it's actually felt fine. Okay, so that's back together. That glue should be set up pretty well by now. Let's go ahead and pop this back in. Alright, after much pondering and trying, we're just going to take this out. It's actually broken in a few spots. It's just the plastic's pretty far gone. I've glued it a few times trying to get it to take, and it just doesn't want to. The plastic is pretty cracked there, so I'm going to get that extra glue out. A little bit extra dripped in there. Just want to clean that up. Fortunately, we don't really need to have that screw in there. Everything will work just fine without it. I'll show you what I mean. I was just really hoping I could fix that. So we'll take the color wheel, and then let's see, let's go this way, and then you guys can see a little better. Now it'll be good. Now, black screws first. They hold the color wheel to the optic assembly. Then we'll put the shorties in that tie into the plastic. I'm just going to reroute that cable over here, and we'll hook that back in a moment. But let's put the screw back in first. Let's put the color wheel sensor back in, but let's clean that off really well. Yeah, that looks way better. Now, obviously it wasn't the main issue, but I'm glad we fixed it nonetheless. Come on, slide in, and then hit the little pin. There we go. Oh, darn it, it slipped out. There we go. Okay. Lamp basket, lamp, keyboard, test. Alright, let's set this back in, and I'll hold these wires up out of the way because we need to slide it in so that these rails on the top go around the light tunnel, or the color wheel assembly here. Let me just hold that wire so it doesn't get caught. There we go. And then it should just drop right down. Oops. Nope. There we go, like that. You have to watch out for here. Make sure the lamp basket is to the left of that little white rib there, so that the screw hole down the bottom lines up. And that's how it should look from this direction. The color wheel wire is going to go in there, and the door switch will hold it in place. So let's reroute that door switch wire the way it was. So it's going to go, let's keep that there. So it's going to go through here, and it's going to help hold the color wheel wire in place like that. And then instead of trying to route it through the ballast wire, I'm just going to unplug it and loop it through. There we go. And then power supply. Like that. And then we'll put some tape, some new tape on there. And I'm going to use some Kapton. There we go. So I don't want that sticking up and above. So that's good. Happy with that. Let's plug those wires back in. All right, cooling fan. And then, so that I don't block your view, let's get the needle nose to put that back. There we are. So lamp is plugged back in, fans plugged back in, color wheels plugged back in, door switch is plugged back in. Let's put a lamp in and actually let's bypass the door switch and make sure that color wheel spins up. Alright, so I'll shine my flashlight through there. We can see it quite well. And it should spin 3 times and then give us the lamp error. Hear that? No buzz. Just spin. And we'll get a lamp error in a moment. Alright. Let's unplug it. And let's put the top back on. Alright, so let's tape this. Put some tape over here. Just want to make sure that does not come loose. Because these connectors just flop right open. It's the weirdest thing. And it's very annoying. Alright, so now let's bring that back. Alright, make sure, before you set the top on, that the zoom piece here and the little nub, that little nub is lined up with that. You can kind of feel it. Alright, let's put some screws in. Actually, no, I forgot to put the screws in the basket. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. Nope, not in the picture. And there would be a third one in the front, but that was where it was broken. So now the top can go back on. new lamp time, or lamp reinstall time. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Again, the connector is keyed. See that little notch there? Push it all the way down like that. And then slide the lamp assembly in. We're going to snug the screw down. That'll hold it. Then, most important thing is to flip this handle into place so it latches down and it helps hold the connector in. See? The way the wire goes across like that, it helps lock it in. If you go to lock the handle down and it doesn't, make sure that connector's in the right way. Let's put the door on. Snug this screw down. And now let's plug it in and fire it up. We should see something pretty quickly. There it is. These fire up pretty fast. Looking good so far. Let's see, menu. Whoops, wrong button. Test pattern, that's what I want. There's white. See if I see any obvious dust. Not yet. No, it looks pretty clean. It was pretty clean inside. And that looks good. Grid again. None. White pattern. Not bad. Alright. I'm going to shut it down and bring it over to the other spot, and we're going to run it for a while. So let's power off. And then once that stops flashing, I'll go set it up on the other side. Alright, it is set up over here. I have the Raspberry Pi 4 running. Let's turn it on and let's see what the picture looks like. Alright, it is coming up. Oh, I actually have the tripod in the way. Let's focus her a little. Get that zoom a little better. Alright, so HDMI 2 at once. Alright, we should get a picture. Here we go. Hey, look at that. Alright, so let's fire up the internet. Alright, now we have a full screen picture of some relaxing, outdoorsy drone footage, I guess. But the pictures, the colors look great in this picture. It's jittering a little bit, I think, because the Pi is still getting to where it needs to be memory-wise. But it'll start running right in a moment. And that's the Pi, why it's doing the jittery. That's not the projector. But yeah, I'm going to let this run. I should, if I get an hour, probably 2 hours out of it, that'll be good enough. While this is up, let's check the lamp. Make sure the lamp hours are reset. Let's see, is that it? 12 volt trigger. Input source, test pattern. Where is it? Inputs, information. No. Let's see, maybe. Projection, audio settings, security, advanced. No. Oh, I wonder if it's below the 12 volt trigger. Let's see. Yep, there it is. So it's this one, and then you go all the way down, and then we'll go to lamp settings, Yeah, the hours were not reset. The old lamp had 2166 on it. Reset, yes. Lamp hour 0, that's what we want. So I'm going to let this video run. Like I said, to get another 2 hours out of it, that'll be good by me. So hopefully this was an informative video and helped you understand another method that you can repair one of these series projectors if you don't necessarily have a bad motor on the color wheel. If the hub motor's still good, you can replace that little sticker and get up and running. So yeah, if you have any questions about your Optoma HD141X, go ahead and stick them down in the comments. I'll have a link to a replacement lamp, the same one that's in here, or same model, the one that's in here. I'll put that in the description. If you don't subscribe to my channel, think about hitting that subscribe button. It's free, helps me out, you know. But really, most importantly, thank you for watching.